Hello Python programmers, this is AK. In this video, we are going to see the most important topic for placements, software developments, interviews and so on. Welcome to the tutorials of Python OOPS concept. First of all, what is OOPS? Object-Oriented Programming System is a programming structure based on the concept of objects that contain data and methods. The primary use of object-oriented programming concept is to increase the flexibility and maintainability of code. Object-oriented programming brings together data and its behavior in a single location, makes it easier to understand how a program actually works. In this video, I am going to explain the OOPS concept of class, objects, methods in Python programming. I am going to explain by the way of comparing the above concept with real-time examples so you can easily grab the concepts and it makes a remarkable one to you. You cannot easily forget the topics when you compare with real-time situations, and it's a very good strategy of learning. So let's start this video. First of all, you need to know about what are the contents that are present in the OOPS concept. Class, objects, methods, inheritance, polymorphism, data abstraction, data encapsulation. So these topics are considered as the core topics of every programming language. If you want to start your career as a programmer, then first you need to cover the OOPS concept in the particular programming language. Without knowing the basic, it is very hard to write the efficient code. Okay. First of all, what is class? A class is defined as the template for the objects. The class can define the common attributes and behaviors of object. Consider this example. In a room, there are three peoples. We can name the people as Ram, Arun, Praveen. Each of them have some attributes and behaviors. And here we are going to create the class for these objects. Here the objects are Ram, Arun, Praveen. Class is a common attribute among these objects. The common thing between these three peoples are they are humans. We can define the class as humans. Under this class we can declare the objects. So this is the concept of class. First I will explain these concepts in theory. Next I will explain the concept with code. At the end you can easily understand these concepts very well. Next topic is about the object. An object is an entity that contains some attributes and behaviors. Consider the previous examples. We have three peoples who are named as Ram, Praveen, Arun. Each of them have some attributes and behavior. Here the attributes are their physical appearances like height, weight, color. And the behaviors are considered as the activities that they are doing, like eating, sleeping, etc. It is the definition of attributes and behaviors of an object. And this is the structure of an object. Every object in programming must contain some attributes and behavior. Sometimes we can say that as a parameter. We already used this word in so many Python tutorials. Okay, so next topic is about the methods in programming. I already said an object has some attributes and behaviors. The methods are considered as the behaviors that are present in the objects. We discussed the three topics. Let's make it as a structure. Head of the tree is class. We are going to create a class called as human. Under this class, we are going to create objects. These three names are the objects for our class. And the final part of the tree is about the methods that are present in the objects. So you need to remember this structure. It's a very easy to understand OOPS concept. So that's all about the theoretical explanations. Let's start the coding part. First we need to declare the class called as human and declare function. In this function we are going to give the attributes to the objects. I already said in the previous part Ram, Arun, Praveen are the objects. These objects have some attributes like name, height, weight, like that. In this function, we need to assign the attributes for the objects. Let's create the attributes. And declare another function. In this function, we need to give the behaviors to the objects. Objects have behaviors like sleeping, eating, etc. But we are going to give one behavior. Declare a function called as eating. Inside this function, you need to insert the behavior in the function. After giving the attributes and behaviors, you need to know one essential step that we use to create the attributes and behaviors. We already declared class. Under the class, we use the functions to create the attributes and behaviors. In this function, we use the word init. Actually, it is a method. It is one of the very important steps that you know, especially when you are a Python programmer. Init is one of the reserved methods in Python. In object-oriented programming, it is known as constructor. The init method can be called when an object is created from the class and its access is required to initialize the attributes of class. Okay, so this is the process of init method. When you are declaring a class in Python, the init method must be used in the class declaration. Okay. After giving the attributes and behaviors to the objects, we are going to create the objects. Already we know our objects. Our objects are Ram, Praveen, Arun. Create a variable called as Ram. Here you need to pass the class name. Inside the class you need to give the specific attributes that we mentioned earlier. Inside the brackets, give predefined attributes like name, height, weight, and follow the same process for the rest of two object creation. After that, we are going to retrieve the object informations. We are going to call our objects here to print the information that the objects actually holds. Okay. Initiate the print statement. Inside this statement, we are going to retrieve the information of Ram object. A Ram object holds 3 attributes and 1 behavior. We are going to print these 3 attributes and 1 behavior. If the information that displayed successfully in our terminal, then we succeed the OOPS concept. Otherwise, we failed. Here we successfully fetched the object information, but we need to print these results for the rest of 2 objects. Finally, we get the output results without any errors.